Guys, so today you're going to learn and start learning about the communication strategies that go with your Employable Skills project. We're going to be spending about 3 weeks on this, but today I wanted to touch on 4 main points that I think are very important when it comes to communication strategies and building on those. So the purpose of our Employable Skills project is to increase your ability to have a part-time job while you're still in school, to prepare yourself for the skills you're definitely going to need after high school, and to learn and kind of practice skills that are going to help you become more confident in school and in life. If you're able to communicate with people clearly and effectively, you will feel more confident doing those things. So those are the things we're going to be practicing over the semester. So the first skills that we're going to be talking about is communication. There's several types of communication. There's verbal, which includes face-to-face, over the phone, anything that is spoken word. There's nonverbal and written, which is texts and emails, which we know can be very harmful and very helpful. So we're going to talk about those. Gestures, facial expressions. You can say a lot by not saying anything at all. And then, of course, active listening is one thing that people don't think is part of communication, but it really is. So today, the 4 communication strategies I want to talk to you about are eye contact, handshake, active listening, and engaging responses. So let's talk about eye contact first. Why is eye contact important? Well, if you meet somebody and they don't look you in the eye, to me, that means that they're sketchy. Like if somebody has shifty eyes, I don't trust them right off the bat. And that's just a first impression thing. If somebody has the inability to look you in the eye when they're talking to you, chances are they're not really listening to what you're saying, or they don't care what you have to say. Now there's also the flip side of people who stare into your soul while you're talking to them. And that is, how we make eye contact awkward, and we don't want to do that. So, just some tips on eye contact. Use eye contact, but again, don't make it awkward. Don't stare somebody down. It's okay to look away from someone, but you don't want to be like staring at your phone, twiddling your thumbs, tying your shoes, shuffling your feet. You want to be engaged in what they're saying, and part of that is eye contact. The next thing is your handshake. And the reason a handshake is important is because this is the way that we say hello for the first time in our culture. Other cultures go right to the hug. Maybe you go right to the hug. I don't know. But in the business world and in the hospitality industry, we go for the handshake. It's important to know the difference between a good one and a bad one. So there's the death grip. You've all probably shaken somebody's hand before where you felt like they were crushing the bones in your fingers. Okay, not good. The floppy fish, I'm just going to let you picture that for a second. That's essentially when, somebody puts their hands in yours, but they're not really a part of the handshake. They're just doing it because they have to. And then there's the actual firm handshake, okay? And we're going to practice that in class this week later on, but handshakes, very important because it's our first impression of someone when we first meet them. Active listening. Did you know that you can hear up to 150 words a minute, but your mind processes 1,500 words a minute? So what does that tell you? That tells me that I'm speaking right now to you, and chances are you're halfway maybe listening to what I'm saying, but there's also other things going on in your mind too. So how do we practice active listening? This one involves a lot of intentional telling yourself to do something, telling yourself, I am not focused on my phone, I am focused on what this person is saying to me. I am not focused on what I'm going to say back to them. I'm focused on what they are saying to me. Active listening is so important because a lot of the time we miss important parts of conversations because we are too busy in our own heads, right? So what not to do? When you're listening, listen to understand what the person is saying. Do not listen to respond necessarily. There's time for that, of course, but we listen to understand what is going on. Another thing not to do. Active listening is a gestural thing, nodding your head, telling the person I'm listening to you. If you act like you're not interested, chances are you're not interested, okay? Again, nodding your head, making that eye contact, making sure that somebody knows without you telling them that you're listening, okay? And the last one is engaging responses. So a disengaging response could be, yeah. If I ask you, like, what did you have for lunch today? Salad. That's not an engaging response, right? I'm asking you a question. I don't really want a one-word answer, especially if I'm enthusiastic about that question, okay? Why create engaging responses? Well, if you want a conversation that is going to be fruitful, you need to contribute to the conversation to make it that way, right? You can't expect somebody to do all the work in a conversation, okay? It's important to be engaged in conversation. It's important to create those engaging responses so that you can walk away from a communication experience and feel like you learned something or feel like your voice was heard properly, okay? So what's the point of all this? Okay, well, the point is that we need to be able to show respect to those people who are in authority figures, teachers, administrators, for now anyways, okay? Parents, employee or other employees, employers, supervisors, people like those, people who are in charge of you, those are your authority figures. You also want to show people that you care for, that you're paying attention to them, okay? If you show someone that you are paying attention to them, then guess what? They will know that you're paying attention to them and they appreciate that, okay? Allow yourself to be the kind of person that people enjoy talking with, okay? Some people pride themselves in not being a good communicator. They pride themselves in not working well with others. Don't be that person, okay? Be the kind of person that people want to work with. Be the kind of person that people want to have conversation with, okay? And allow yourself to do that. So just to review, today we talked about handshake, eye contact, active listening, and engaging responses. You have an assignment to do with these 4 things in Canvas. Go ahead and start working on that now.